All right. Hello, everybody. KVU Chief Meteorologist Hunter Williams here with our nightly extended update on the forecast here on KVU Plus and YouTube and all of our streaming platforms. Hopefully, everybody had a nice Monday. Now, weather-wise, of course, what a drastic change. We were way up in the 70s today. That was the warmest weather we've had in close to 10 days. Obviously, all the Arctic weather that we had back last week. That's on the rearview mirror, and generally speaking, there's a few little things, but generally, it's a pretty quiet and pleasant weather pattern that we are tracking for this week, and it's certainly much warmer. Highs for tomorrow, for Wednesday, mid to upper 70s. We have a very weak cold front, which is coming through Wednesday night into Thursday. Nothing like last week. It just drops us down briefly. Then it's back to warm weather for Friday into the upcoming weekend. So with that, we will do what we always do, and we will break down all the details of this forecast. Also just wanted to show you this beautiful view right now from our Oasis cam out over Lake Travis. Almost as beautiful as these numbers after last week. 77 for Mabry today, 76 degrees, the high at the airport. Now, the morning was still pretty chilly. It wasn't a freeze, but it was actually a little cooler than the average for this time of the year. 39 degrees the low this morning for Mabry, 35 at the airport. I think we're going to be still chilly, but likely only 40s for low temperatures as we go into tonight, and afternoon temperatures are going to be very similar. Current numbers outside as we record this live here at 7:03 on this Monday evening. It is 67 in Austin right now. Westlake's at 70. It is 67 in Cedar Park right now. Leander 69. Round Rock at 66 degrees. So even if you're running around this evening trying to do anything, it's just very pleasant outside. 75 in Mason. Llano, Mason, Marble Falls. Some of our northern hill country areas made it into the 80s today. I think that will be the case again tomorrow. Mason might even make a run at the upper 80s tomorrow. All right, it is 70 in Luling. LaGrange getting slightly cooler, 62 to 64 degrees for those locations. Here's the satellite radar right now. As I mentioned, in terms of like major rain chances, really there's not much. If I could identify like one thing to kind of focus on here over the next 2 to 3 days, it would be the fog though. So it's sunny right now. As we go overnight, low clouds and pretty widespread fog is going to develop, especially for areas that are east of I-35. So here's a look at our fog advisory, which has been issued. This will kick in at 3 a.m. tonight, goes through 10 a.m. on Wednesday. It does not include the I-35 corridor and the metro, although I do think we're going to have some fog, especially as you get into the East Metro. Across the hill country tomorrow, though, nothing. I think we'll be in pretty good shape tomorrow morning. It will be generally a clear sky even in the morning. But then as you go from Caldwell into Bastrop, Milam, Lee, Fayette counties, those are the spots where fog is not only going to be more widespread, but I think it's going to be pretty dense. So check this out on the fog tracker. It's going to be one of those deals where we have like a super sharp cutoff, and it's going to set up like right over central Austin. So if you go west out towards like Bee Cave, like Vista, Westlake, they're probably in pretty good shape tomorrow morning. Meanwhile, as you go east into like Manor, East Travis, out towards Bastrop, that's where pretty quickly we're going to get into the dense fog. But even for those spots, give it a few hours. I think about 10, 11 o'clock, we're in pretty good shape in terms of visibility for tomorrow. So here's kind of the day breakdown. Foggy in the morning, even in Austin, as I mentioned, especially central and eastern portions of the metro. We're going to have some fog. It's probably not going to be the worst of the fog. That will probably be east of I-35, but it's enough to make it kind of gray and a little damp in the morning. Then as we go into noon, sunshine. 69 degrees, keep going into 4 or 5 o'clock, and temperatures at that point, just like today, will be in the mid to upper 70s. Again, I don't know about you guys, but after dropping down to 18 degrees one morning last week, I'm certainly not going to complain about our weather this week. Here are the area-wide high temperatures. Along and east of I-35, it's mainly mid to upper 70s. Again, about 77 in Austin. We go into the hill country. Llano 83, Fredericksburg 80, Mason 85. Very warm stuff. As you go to the hill country, we've got a little dry line, so that dry, warm air moves in, so that's why those locations get even hotter. And of course, they're not going to have the same fog issues that will be present along and east of I-35 in the morning, so they go right to sunshine and the temperatures just shoot up. 75 in Pflugerville tomorrow, 75 in Round Rock, Georgetown 76, Laguna Vista, I've got you at about 74 degrees. So Tuesday, Wednesday, it's virtually the same forecast, 77 for both days. Then I mentioned this is not a major front. This is not the same Arctic air, far from what we dealt with last week, but we do have a little temperature drop coming in for Thursday. Now, average this time of the year is 68, so I think we can manage 1 degree below average for one day. And then as we go to Friday and Saturday, temperatures pretty quickly going to rebound. We'll be right back to the low to mid 70s. What about rain with this system? Now that the Arctic air is gone, we kind of return to reality where, look, we still have expanding drought conditions here across central Texas. We really need the rain. I don't think this is going to be the system that brings it to us, though. So here's 7 o'clock on Wednesday. We're ahead of the front, southeast wind. There's the wind shift. So watch as it comes in pretty quietly. Wednesday night into Thursday. Along the front, there's basically nothing. Behind it, we get a little overrunning pattern. So we're going to have some low clouds. I'm going to say a 20% chance for showers that also will factor like some drizzle into that. So I think it's just going to be, kind of foggy, low clouds, drizzly, a few steadier showers through the first part of Thursday. Then this is the last frame of our graph model, goes out 72 hours, which is noon on Thursday. But you can see as we get into the mid, especially late afternoon, you can see this cloud shield's working down to the south. So we'll try to clear out by the tail end of the day on Thursday. How quickly the sunshine moves in will determine what exactly our temperature forecast looks like for Thursday. But again, as of now, I'm going to keep us at least in the mid to upper 60s. Here's our 7-day rainfall potential. Not looking great. Again, GFS American model says basically nothing. European model says keep your fingers crossed. Maybe if you're lucky, you'll get quarter inch of rain. With that being said, I do think we need to start keeping an eye on things a little bit as we get into like Monday, Tuesday of next week. I see more of an active pattern continuing, or returning rather, maybe even a little bit of a severe threat. Obviously, this is days away. I'll kind of walk you through this on the 7-day, but remember, as we turn the page from February into March, we're kind of getting into more of the severe weather season here in Central Texas. Tonight, clear early, so it's beautiful right now. Low clouds, patchy fog develops tonight. Still pretty cool, 45 degrees for the low. Gray with some patchy fog in the morning tomorrow, clear into sunshine, I think by late morning, early afternoon. And high temperatures will be virtually the same as today, if not a little bit warmer. I have 77 degrees in our forecast. So here's our 7-day forecast. We'll keep it at 77 for Tuesday and Wednesday. The pattern's the same. We're going to have more morning fog and low clouds on Wednesday, although the cloud cover might be a little bit more stubborn even in the afternoon on Wednesday. Front comes through Wednesday night. I've got an optimistic 20% rain chance in the forecast for early Thursday, but don't count on a ton of rain out of this. I think it's more so like drizzle and mist and kind of nuisance stuff. Cloud cover also sticking around behind the front with that overrunning pattern, so that will keep us like 67 for the afternoon high. Friday morning, that'll be kind of our coolest morning behind the front. Nothing crazy, 44 to start, then sunny, really nice for the afternoon, a high of 71. Saturday, to start next weekend, looks good, nice, 49 in the morning, a high of 76. Then, as I mentioned, we'll start to keep an eye on things as we go into Sunday of the weekend, and then especially Monday and Tuesday of next week. We're about a week away from this, but I'm seeing signs in the models, especially north of here, around Monday, Tuesday of next week, some sort of a severe weather threat for our state that could involve parts of our KVU area. It's just really too early to know. But as I mentioned, we're just kind of doing pattern recognition. And as we start to go into early March, that's when we pay a little bit closer attention to some of these setups just to see what kind of severe weather threat they could bring. I've got our rain chances pretty low right now. I could see those going up a little bit from Monday night into Tuesday, though, and that would be the stretch. Monday, Tuesday of next week where we'd start to watch for a little bit of a severe threat. But look, that's what we're tracking. I won't keep it too long tonight. Obviously, we did a lot of like extended updates last week with first the cold weather, then the freezing rain and freezing drizzle and all sorts of stuff. As you can see, this is a much quieter forecast pattern. Mainly it's just warm, got a little bit of fog. And then as we get later into this week, we start to get a little bit more of a feel on what our storm or severe weather potential looks like for next week. We'll start to ramp things up a little bit more, do some more extended, longer updates. But for now, I think that should have us covered. So as always, we appreciate you tuning in for our nightly KVU Plus extended update on the forecast. For those who are new, I think a lot of folks kind of found out about this last week with the winter weather stuff, but we do this every night, whether it's sunny and 77 or whether we have severe weather or tornado threat or freezing drizzle. We do it every night. So if you watch the weather on TV and you're just thinking that's not quite detailed enough for me, I want a little bit more info, or you're a weather nerd and you want to see all the models, we try to do that here on KVU Plus, which again starts at 7 o'clock every night. So with that, I will let you go. Next update for me is going to be KVU News at 10 o'clock, which is a little under 3 hours from now. We hope to see you there. If not, have a good night. We'll talk to you tomorrow.